Hey folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans. We got a shenanigan for you today, but first, I just want to say please subscribe to the channel. Do it right now. I'm literally at 98 subscribers. You can see it right there, 98. We're two away. We're two away. Um, even though, hold on, even though it says 97 there, it takes a while for that number to update. And yeah, I'm doing pretty good actually. Um, I've never, you see here, this is like how many average views I get. You know, like that's 16. That was like 4. All of a sudden, like last hour, 7 to 8 p.m. 31 out of nowhere. I have no idea. It's really exciting when you're a YouTuber and you see you get that much traffic in 1 hour. So, yeah, please subscribe. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? If you've already seen the title of this video, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to be talking about the ratings of Star versus the Forces of Evil. Um, so, yeah. Basically what happened with Star versus the Forces of Evil, it started out really strong. So like when I was a kid, you would get shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Ben 10, Ben 10. You would get Ben 10. What else? So all kinds of these kinds of action shows that had continuity, which was really cool, right? Like Danny Phantom, right? Like he stops a ghost here, he stops a ghost there. He has all these villains, all this kind of stuff, right? Um, so you would get these shows very frequently, and then for what a lot of companies shifted away to this kind of Teen Titans Go model, where it's more. Actually, that's a great example. The original Teen Titans Go compared to or sorry, not Teen Titans Go, the original, the Teen Titans on Cartoon Network versus the Teen Titans Go on Cartoon Network. It's like one is this action show that's really awesome with continuity. The other is Teen Titans Go, which like usually everything's reset every week and that kind of stuff, right? Maybe there's bits of continuity in Teen Titans Go. I've seen a good chunk of them. There's a little bit of continuity, but a lot of times it's like it resets and etc. So Star versus the Force of Evil was really interesting because I feel like it came at a time where there was just such few action cartoons. Like the cream of the crop at the time was like Steven Universe, which I just don't think is a good show at all. By the way, um, yeah, it's like Steven Universe was like the cream of the crop for action shows at the time. Like Cartoon Network just wasn't making them. Ben 10, I think Omniverse ended around this time. They now do have a reboot of Ben 10, but I don't think it's that great, honestly. It's very watered down compared to what we used to get. So yeah, a lot of shows were like that. They were action, they got watered down, and then you just had really woke stuff like Steven Universe. It's just a very woke show. I just don't enjoy that show. I watched it. I feel like I started it and then I was like, okay, I gotta finish it. So I did watch it all. I've seen every episode of the show, but like I just didn't enjoy it, honestly. Um, and I feel like that's because I watched Steven Universe and because I kept watching these kind of like woke, more how would you say, SJW cartoons. Because I watched them, I started getting sick of them. I'm like, this just feels like propaganda in kids cartoons, and I really started to like push away from them. Like I made a video. Let's see this video here. I made a couple of my videos recently where it's like Lumberjanes, that's what do you expect, right? That's going to be, you just know that's going to be another woke cartoon. Um and then this show is so woke I refuse to review it. This was a Magical Girl Friendship Squad. This is what we're getting nowadays. Like where's all the action? Where's all the excitement? It's just a lot of this, you know. Even the Ghost and Molly McGee, it's like it's a show where she gets cursed and then she's bound to a ghost, and a lot of the shows nowadays that are coming out are just these like awful anime. Like look, let's read. Hold on, let's click Star versus the Forces of Evil. I read this earlier and I was like, Hold on. Here we go. Look, let's read this. Let's read this right here. Background and production. So Nefsi, I think, who is the creator of this show here, she said she originally created Star as a girl who wanted to be a magic girl like Sailor Moon, and Marco as a boy who was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z and karate. They would be enemies instead of friends in this earlier version. Star did not have any magical powers, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So a lot of these Disney shows, they grew up watching shows I grew up, right? Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, these were shows I watched as a kid. Also Ninja Turtles, of course, and all those kinds of shows, right? A lot of anime. We got a lot of anime that was ported over to the West. Um, when I was a kid, the big three, right? You got Bleach, you got One Piece, you got Naruto. All three of them, I love them. I think that Bleach is the worst of them. Naruto is the second best, and One Piece is the best, the cream of the crop. Okay, um, so yeah, so a lot of the people who are my age who are now creating cartoons, they grew up with stuff I grew up with, right? But a lot of the times, for whatever reason, I guess a lot of the girls really clung to stuff like Sailor Moon and a lot of like female anime. So we've been getting just a lot of these shows, right? Like you look at Amphibia, it's about a show, it's about a girl who gets transported to this magical amphibia land with these talking frogs and animals by a magic box, right? Magic box. Star versus the forces of evil. She uses magic, right? You look at I don't know what else. There, I just talked about the Curse of Molly McGee. Apparently, it was something about she performs like a curse or something incorrectly, and then she has a ghost bound to her. And you know, if she was doing a curse, she might be a witch. That just reminds me of the Owl House, right? Another show with magic girl. Too much magic girls. Too much magic girls. They're just everywhere nowadays, and you know. So, but when this show came out, I was like, oh, a fresh show. Okay, let's dive in. It's a fresh show. I'm excited. Um, you know, I don't know, man. I was just like, I'm gonna give this one a shot, even though I thought Steven Universe was pretty woke. You know, I was like, and there's a whole bunch of other woke cartoons at the time that were coming out. Um, and a lot. Oh, I just remembered She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. There's another show with like magic and fantasy. It's just a lot of these like magic girl shows just keep coming out. I don't know what the deal is, but they all always end up being pretty damn woke. Actually, Amphibia is probably the least woke. I've been watching Amphibia. I have not seen that much wokeness in there, so that's my favorite. Out of all the Magic Girl shows in recent day, that's the one I've been enjoying the most. Really like the Hop Pop character. Really enjoy him. So yeah, so let's. What I wanted to do was I wanted to take a look at the ratings. Right, I wanted to see the ratings. So what happened with this show, in my opinion, right? You could disagree. The first season, the first kind of like two seasons were Monster of the Week. Now, what Monster of the Week is it's basically exactly what it sounds like. The character will be minding their business. A monster shows up. They defeat the monster, and then every week you would get a Monster of the Week. So, a perfect show that does this. Martin Mystery. You ever see Martin Mystery or Totally Spies? Right? You ever see one of those shows? A lot of the times, the girls get sent on a spy mission, and they end up fighting some kind of somebody, right? Martin Mystery. When you think of the word Monster of the Week, that's Martin Mystery is the show, right? Literally every fucking week they would fight a new monster. I think there was also an Archie. You guys know like Archie with Jughead. There was like some like old school Archie show that had a kind of similar gimmick, where they would have all kinds of strange adventures and shit would happen. But yeah, but Martin Mystery, perfect example. So this show, you might remember a lot of the times, right? Like, look, it says it right here. Star ends up discovering his skills when she is attacked by Ludo and his army of literally Monster of the Week, right? So a lot of the first two season was like this, where there would be, Ludo would come and, it'd kind of be like Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. Ludo was trying to steal Star's wand kind of thing. I'm sure you guys remember that. for the first couple seasons here. But and then what happened? So there was 4 seasons of the show, right? We see here. Um, first season had 13, then 22, then 21, and then 21, right? So yeah, and those aired the show went on for 4 years, from 2015 to 2019, basically. And we do have the ratings, which is great because in the future, I'm scared about the future because everything's going to Disney Plus and Netflix, and that we don't get the ratings. We don't know how these shows are doing. It's not fun, you know. It's not fun when we don't know like how the shows are doing. So a lot of like fan favorite shows could just be canceled without without any warning. Um, so yeah, at the same time though, they could, because the streaming wars are so like huge, a lot of shows are getting picked back up too, like Tuca and Birdie, which is another more of a woker show there. um I know Tuca and Birdie got canceled because of low viewership on Netflix, I think it was. And then I think recently they got picked up by HBO Max, off the top of my head, if I'm remembering that correctly. So it's gonna, there's pros, there's cons. We don't know how these movies and shows are doing on these streaming services. So when you see these numbers here, not for long. We're not, the next the next big shows, you might not get these viewership numbers. Um, so yeah, so it's so the first 2 seasons were monster of the week kind of shows. They would also have like other, they would always have some kind of like adventure or something, and then there might be like some kind of monster. And then the last 2 seasons, they focused in on the story. You could tell they were trying to like conclude the show. They went places. They did waste time. Also, season 4, lot of time wasted in that season. Um, and I personally think the show really went downhill once they killed Toffee. And yeah, so it never recovered after they killed Toffee, which I think was like the season 3 finale. But let's look at the viewership. Let's see if the viewership sort of reflects what people said, right? What people, and my opinion, uh, are conglomerated here. So in my opinion, also the show, it's a known fact in the community of Star versus the Force of Evil. I can't remember if it was season 3 or 4. I thought it was season 3. They got rid of the continuity editor. I believe it was. And what the continuity editor does is they check to make sure the story is all in place, right? So in the first 2 seasons, the story is very like sound, right? Like there's a lot of if a character was said that they had this backstory, they had that backstory. Later, I think season 3 and season 4, they actually, I guess they might have been short, or maybe they didn't have the money. They got rid of the continuity editor, and what ends up happening is there's a lot more plot holes and like issues with the continuity, and it makes the story start feeling like crumbling, like it's crumbling inward on itself. So in my opinion, the show really, you can really tell too. After season 2, the show just kind of like goes. It starts out strong and then it goes like right down there. And I really didn't like the ending. I was like, what? Maybe that's a story. That's a video for another day. But I didn't like the ending. But let's check. Let's do a quick check here and see how this went down. So this show started huge. Look at this, 2.33 million. Now it's not the biggest, but those are pretty good ratings right there for a cartoon, right? I think that's what like SpongeBob is usually getting, or something like that, right? Something like that, I think. I know SpongeBob brings the views, man. SpongeBob and Teen Titans Go, they bring those numbers. So it does start out strong. This is the first season, so I think there were 13 here, right? 13? Yeah, 13. So we can take a look. So it's huge start, huge start. Half the audience, no, literally like almost a third of the audience is gone by the 3rd episode, right? Now these probably aired on the same day. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me see. January. Oh, they did. Those aired on the same day. Now look. Here's where they screwed up. This is where they screwed up. Look at this. This aired in January, then March. You see, so people didn't. Like once you get people into the rhythm, they keep coming back for more. it's kind of like running a YouTube channel. You keep uploading, people come to you, right? People start coming to you. Um, but imagine not uploading for like 2 months straight and then wondering why you lost like 1/3 of your audience, right? Okay, not a third, maybe like two, pretty close, like 1.5, I guess, of your audience. Yeah, I guess they lost one, like kind of like 1.5. Okay, maybe it's a bit much to say two, like they lost like half the audience, but no, wait, they did two divided by wait, no, they they lost like wait, did they lost like 2.5? Is that right? Okay, let's round that 2.5, and they basically like have one. Yeah, so they basically lost like 2.5 of their audience. Their audience was divided by 2.5, kind of. So that's a big loss still. That's still a big loss. So we go from 2.33 million to zero to basically like 900,000, right? And then so then here, look, see they do keep it up. See when they March and April, so that was a week. That's a week later, right? So they started getting into the groove and people kept coming back. I think they absolutely fucked themselves by having a 2 month period where they didn't air. That was a huge misplay. Um, so yeah, and then it just look at that. It just, like we go from 90, we're right down to the fives. We're right down to the 570,000. Like really? And that's only like what? How many? One, two. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes in. We're already. They lost like five. They lost. They had almost 2.5 million. They lost about like 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times their audience was gone. Or divided by. I don't know. I don't know the correct way to say it, but they lost a lot of people. Is what I'm trying to say. A fifth of no, that's how you say it. Like a fifth of their original audience is gone, right? And then here, look, they come back here, so that's a 7. So that was by the time summertime rolled around. Okay, so the kids are home, so that's why that boosted up. I'm assuming. So June, right? The school's about to end. A lot of kids at home. But then no, they go right back down to the 5s, and then they go to the 6s. So they're kind of like floating around the 7, 6, 5 range. And then oh boy, and then oh boy, holy shit, they're already down to 3. So they lost 2 million. They lost 2 million viewers. They started with 2.33. They're down. They're only a few episodes in. They already lost that much. So the show. This was at the time when the show was Monster of the Week. 50. So 50. So they do go back up here. They go back up. 55, 55, and then they do have a strong finish here. I mean, they kind of like recollected a bunch of people, so that's great to see that they at least almost sort of got people back in. But that was the first season, and then they actually stayed pretty steady. Like I think the next seasons. This was around the time when it started becoming more story focused. When it was still Monster of the Week, but it was more story focused. So let's see here. So we start out with 6.1. So they did lose like just a few thousand, which is not bad. 6.1, 6. And then we're back to the 50s. 56, 54, 54, 50. 50, 50, 50. Oh no, and then that's a 36. So that they dived. So they started diving down here. Diving down, back to 50, back to 50, 29, not great. Not great at all. 29, 27, that's really bad. These are the kinds of numbers that shows get canceled on, right? So 27, 51, okay, they're back in the 50, 26, ouch. Hungry Larry. That episode, wow. And then those aired on the same day. So and then these aired on. Okay, so what do? They air 2 episodes. Oh no, they're half and half, right? So 2A. So the episodes are like 20 minutes long, and then one episode will be 10, and then 10, right? So they do. Yeah, those came out on the same day. So 22, 36, 30, we're back in the 30s. This one jumps right back. This is the wildest one here. I actually really like this episode, Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, with the seance. A lot of people talked about that episode. I really enjoyed that episode. Jana is one of my favorite characters on this show, by the way. So this is wild though. Look at that. Like we literally go from 53 to 12. Like how wild is that? Like 12 guys, 12. That is wild. I'm actually surprised the show didn't get canceled with a rating like that, you know, like Trickstar, we don't get the rating for that one. Oh wait, no, hold on. That aired one day after, so that actually would have a different rating. So we didn't get the rating for that. That's unfortunate. Uh, but we do get a 20. So I had imagined that one must have been like something like a 20 also, right? Like, or maybe like a 15. I don't know. It goes back up to 20. We're at 19. We're on death row here. We're on like 0.16, 0.20, 0.23, 0.21. These are just terrible. 0.25, 0.21. We didn't get that one. We didn't get that one. And then it goes back up to 30, 32. And these are the finales. So usually the finales we've seen in the first season, the finale boosts the numbers back up. And then here it boosted actually right back up to a 40, which is really, well, not that great. And this is where around the time where the show, a lot of people would say after season 2, the show just kind of went right down. And here's the weirdest part, because the ratings went back up. Isn't that weird? So the ratings went back up because these all aired on the same day. What the fuck? Okay, that's why the ratings were so good. So season 3, this was on the same day. This was so 51, 51. These were all on the same day. Same day, same day, same day. So those all got 51. So there was a break. There was a long break, or how long of a break was this? Not that much. This was a 3-month break, and then so I guess they did a whole bunch of episodes here. Nice little break there. Oh wait, hold on. And then it ends here, November 6th, right? It ends here. So then this is November now. This is the winter time. And they're back to 30. They're back to 30, 26, 26. These are really terrible ratings. 26, 26, 40, 40, 33, 33. So the show did go back up. So it's really interesting because a lot of people say the quality declined, but it's interesting because the season 2 ratings compared to the season 3 actually seem to boost up. But also, a lot of these episodes aired on the same day, right? Or they aired like a couple days within each other, you know. Look at this. November 14th, November 15th, 16th, and then December over here. So it seems like maybe this was a rating boost stunt, you know, like they aired a bunch of episodes back to back, trying and hoping to get the ratings back up because they were so bad in season 2. And it looks to have worked a little bit. Except for this episode, the Bog Beast of Bogba. Yeah, so that got 0.18, and Total Eclipse of the Moon 0. So this was a very poorly received episode. And I actually I thought they were building up to something with Eclipse, but they never do, you know? It was a very disappointing thing. I thought Eclipse was going to be this cool, evil final boss. Her and her husband were going to be like this, you know, evil final boss kind of character, and then they don't really do it. It's the person named oh my god, what was her name? Mina Loveberry ends up being the final villain. Can you believe that shit? Yeah, so Mina Loveberry ends up being the final villain, which was really bad in my opinion. So they're back in the 30s here, 23, 23. So the ratings are kind of like fluctuating. And then this is the final season, which is interesting. So 34, 37. They actually do get back into the 40s there. 30s, you know, 30, 35, 36, 30, 34, 34, 31, 36, 36, 38. So they almost kind of got back up. 33. Actually, what was the season finale? Did they get a rating boost here? They did get a mild rating boost where it's, you know, most of the episodes 32, 32, 35. So they did get a slight boost for the very final episode there. And then, you know, we're back to the 30s, the low or the mid 30s, 38, 38, 33, 33, 36, 36, 34, 34, 35, 31. 31, and then I think it's Beach Day. I actually really like that episode, even though it wasn't the best, but or the season wasn't the best. I really, I don't know, because she gets that picture from earlier in the show. I didn't mind this episode at all. 32, 33, 36. So it does almost go back up to a 40 there. But then it goes back to 30, 35, 35, 33. And that's the finale, guys. Can you believe that? This was the finale. So all the other seasons, I guess people were so disappointed with this episode. All the other seasons, they saw a slight rating boost. This actually saw a decline in viewership. So that's wild. That's just wild. There's a lot that in my opinion, the last two seasons they kind of they went woke. The storytelling just felt like off. Like I said, because they fired the continuity editor. It's a real shame what happened here, because I think those first two seasons were they had something there. They definitely had something there, and now they kind of went off on a sour note. So yeah, this is, I don't know what I'm gonna call this video, but maybe I'll call it like the ratings of Star versus the Force of Evil, or like how were Star versus the Force of Evil in the end. So the show seemed to have a decently mixed first season. Like, it started out strong, but then I guess all shows usually start out pretty strong. But then the show just kind of tapered off in the first season. The second season, it went down there. And then it just seemed to middle around. And I'm kind of surprised that the show didn't get canceled with ratings this low. So maybe that's how they were able to keep the show afloat, because it had, they had to do rating, I don't know what you call it, boosts, a marketing scheme, like Steven Universe would do those Steven bombs, so it felt like they tried to do a couple of those, kind of like a star bomb. Yeah. A star, that's a YouTube channel with music, I'm pretty sure. They have good stuff. But yeah, so this video is 27 minutes. I'm gonna end it here. I don't want to wait, I don't want to go on and ramble on for another 20 minutes. I feel like this is pretty concise. So the show seemed to have a very mixed, it started out strong, but it was also, and then it became very mixed ratings wise. Season 2 just went down, and then it just never seemed to recover. It's kind of like it went up, it started up here, and then it went down, all the way down, and then it kind of just trickled along the bottom, and that's how it ended. It ends on a 3-3, and it didn't even get, all the first 3 seasons saw a rating boost on the final episode. This one did not. So that's very interesting. I want to hear your comments on this down below. Did you guys find that the quality dipped after the last two season 3 and 4? Did you guys find the quality dipped? Were you like me? Did you enjoy the first 2 seasons where there really wasn't that much wokeness, and season 3 and 4 they really cranked that shit up, which is why I just wasn't as interested in watching the episodes, honestly. And the show just had a terrible ending where Mina Loveberry ends up being the final villain. Awful shit. And also, I don't like the ending. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's something that happens at the end. Oh god, you can probably read it right there. But yeah. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, and please subscribe. 2 subscribers away from 100. Hey! So that's all for today, folks. See you later. Bye-bye.